Hello, everyone, and welcome to a live match reaction show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. I was very close to not doing this show. I'm lost for words. I've already voiced my frustrations about the coach, and I feel like anything I've said in the last 2 to 3 days have been more valid than not. And in these situations, you don't always want to be right, because you want your club to do well, you want the manager to do well. But enough is enough. This manager, this coach, whatever his job title is simply not good enough. We lost 3-0 to Man City, which can happen. They are a good team. Losing 3-0 to Nottingham Forest at home is not acceptable. But losing 4-1 to PSV has to be the nail on the coffin for me. Ah, I've got so many thoughts in my head, but I'm going to try and express them the best way I can. Um, but we'll stick to the structure of the show as well. So I'll briefly do a match review in terms of just speaking about the key moments, which are a lot of negatives, but we still have to discuss them today. I don't know if there's any point. We'll do player ratings, but it'll be very quick, to be fair. And then we'll speak about the coach and you know give you my thoughts in terms of where we need to go from now on, because a decision needs to be made. Let's say it like that. A decision needs to be made very, very soon. So before I do, let me go through some of the comments and then we'll get into my thoughts about the game. Um, excuse me. Wayne says, big up Ozzy in chat. Big up Wayne. Hope you're well. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for tuning in. Ozan, big up Ozan. He says, I'm so angry, Ozzy. There's absolutely no way back from this for slots. I agree. This is complete humiliation. Fozzy, big up Fozzy, send me the link, bro. Let me add the link in the chat. Do you know what? I'm so prepared with my shows. I had to just take a seat back, and I've not even got things properly done. So let me add the link, and then I'll get you on Fozzy whenever you're ready. Um, let me see. Let me add the link here. Oh, I still can't believe how we lost that game. It does not make any sense whatsoever. Okay, let me post the link. Should be there, Fozzy. And I'll get you on very shortly. Let me just do a quick match review, and then I'll get you on and let you have your say as well. So, yeah, let's go. Let's go through it as soon as possible. So, in terms of the game, I actually missed it live because something happened with my TV. So, what on earth was Van Dijk doing? Firstly, there is no excuse. I don't care what excuses he was trying to tell the referee. But my friend, you're playing the wrong sport. You're playing basketball on a football pitch. That was literally a Steph Curry slam dunk that he was doing there. That's not football. So I don't care if you got pushed or whatnot. That was not a natural way of reacting to getting pushed. So for me, absolute nonsense. That was definitely by far one of Van Dijk's worst performances I've seen in a Liverpool shirt. It was awful to watch. And the penalty was the right decision from the referee. Perisic steps up, converts it right to the bottom corner, makes it 1-0. Liverpool, give them a tiny bit of credit today. They responded in the right manner and they got the goal through Szoboszlai, who was by far the best player and has been the best player all season, to be fair. We should have had a penalty shot when Ekitike was fouled by Saladin, not given. For me, yeah, probably should have been a penalty, but at the same time, doesn't really matter, does it? To be quite honest. Van Dijk hits the crossbar from a corner kick, so almost, made up for his mistake there, but Unfortunately, that didn't occur. The second half, Liverpool conceded a goal. It wasn't in the opening 5-10 minutes like we did in the first half, but we still conceded. Great pass from their fullback Saladin, who splits over the Liverpool defense, finds Gastel, who applies one of the like neat touches you can apply from a striker. Mahmoud really couldn't react. From a defensive point of view, poor position from Kirkes. For me, should be more goal side or a bit more aggressive. Try and put his body weight on the player so you can kind of keep him off balance. He didn't do nothing there. And after that, the heads went completely down from the players. Konate then produces another bozo moment, gives the ball away. Sabari, who was all attack today, charges down the flank, squares it to the sub who came on, which was Triush, I think his name was. He makes it 3-1. And then we get hit with the knockout punch. That puts Stott's regime as Liverpool manager to an end, in my opinion. Triush finds acres of space on the edge of the box and he smashes it in the bottom corner to make it 4-1. Look, as a team, we look done. And in terms of the direction and the leadership that we are going through with this coach, there is no way we can defend this coach anymore. If you're slotting, I would love for you to explain to me why you're still slotting. I'm not asking you in a disrespectful way because there has to be a limit. You know, I'm not sure. I think it was through Steve who mentioned yesterday there were a lot of channels that were still very much slotting and they were willing to back him until the end, even if they were in a relegation zone. Unless you got shares at the club where you're financially going to be impacted, that shouldn't be your viewpoint. And if you want the best for your club, that wouldn't be the response. I'm not trying to tell you how to support your team as well, but this is awful. Like Liverpool don't go through this kind of runs. And from a footballing point of view, why are we so forward thinking but vulnerable at the back? Like this is Slot's ideology. This is how he wanted to play. Last season, he pretty much carried on the same tactics that Klopp did because there was the same profile players. He didn't get to sign anyone, so he thought, let me just settle the ship and keep rowing until we get to the end. And in the end, we got the league title. This year, as in this season, he was like, I want to put my imprint on. But his imprint is simply not good enough at this high level of the game. And there was large parts of the game where our whole team was in the attacking half. But then when we lose the ball, we're so easy to rip apart. Literally one pass and they're on the attack. And in terms of team selection, I don't want it to be the same old thing that I said, but his team selections have been very questionable. Why did Kirkes start today? That's not a player I would have started. He's definitely a player that's low in confidence. And Robertson got a few days of rest, so he would have been fit enough to play today. Um, we need experience during this bad patch, if you want to call it that. We need experience in that back line. And why did Gakpo start today? Yes, I know it's his former club, so there's a bit of sentiment involved in that. But he was awful today. Why wasn't Chiesa given a chance? Whenever he plays, even if he plays for 2 minutes, he does more than what Gakpo does for 88 minutes. That's the levels there. And look, I've been very vocal, and I feel like some fans may agree with me, some may disagree with me, but I've spoken very, very heavily and in detail about this coach. And when I said I'm slot out, for me, I don't backtrack. That is my final statement. And I'm done. Like, if there was any ounce of remorse for me to backtrack a little bit, that has disappeared. There wasn't, if I'm being honest with you, but subconsciously, if there was, it's completely gone. Did you hear the crowd at the end of the game? Forget that, actually. 10 minutes before that, a lot of fans were walking out, but there was a lot of boos surrounding Anfield. That's not normal. Even when we lose, doesn't matter how we lose, still support the team. But those boos were for the manager. And I can't hear anything positive about this coach anymore. So let me put it into perspective in terms of how poor he has been. Yes. The stats you're seeing on the screen is the 12 last games of their 20. I'm assuming Slot will get sacked. That is my assumption. So the metrics should make sense here. But even so, last 12 games of Hodgson's era, 12 games, 5 defeats. And I remember I had enough. And I was quite young in those times, but I was like, enough is enough. Slot has had 12 games, 9 defeats. That is relegation form. And I'm not trying to sound like, I'm exaggerating. That is relegation form. You can't sugarcoat it in any other way. Like, we keep losing. We're doing the same old nonsense week in, week out. Nothing has changed from any point of view. And another thing about this coach, like recently he's taken a bit of accountability saying he needs to do better. But generally that is not how he is in terms of his personality. Always likes to blame others, whether it's the opponent or his own players. Never really looks at himself. So for me, I've had enough of this coach. I've seen a few sort of rumors circulating today. Let me actually present it on screen. So if you haven't seen it, then I can make you guys aware. And obviously, this is just, this is indie. So obviously, indie, I'll be honest with you, he's been really good in recent times in terms of showing, or should I say, presenting good information that um, ends up being true. So, we got to give him a bit of credit when he does. And he's basically said um, that there is going to be an emergency meeting tomorrow with the hierarchy, and a decision will be made in regards to Arnold's future. So, with that being said, if that is the case, then I'm expecting him to be sacked. And if he's not, oh, I'll be hugely surprised if that is not the case. Um, so for me, there is no other decision but to dismiss this coach. I was watching the post-match conference with McManaman and Gerard. Of course, they are former players, so they're going to say, certain things. They're not going to want to um, speak too harshly about the coach or anything, about the club. And they were like, no, it's too soon to call it a crisis or anything to that nature. This is a coach where um, he needs time. He needs to be given time. Ah, listen, 12 games and 9 defeats, you've had enough time. And the thing is, we've had international breaks where you've actually had 2 weeks off 2, 3 times this season and you've not done a single thing. So that is my concern going forward. So let me go through some of the comments and then I'll bring Fozzie on as well. Um, let me see the comments here. So Wayne, big up Wayne, he says mentality monsters to mentality babies. That is facts. Bo, big up Bo, he says Ozzie. How long have you been live now? I've literally just come on 15 minutes now, so I've not been live for too long. Apologies, I was scheduled to come on at 11:30, but yeah, I needed just to be in a space where I was like a bit more calm, a bit more composed. Um, I was watching some other content from other Liverpool channels as well, just to see what they've been saying. And it feels like we're all feeling the same, so we're all in it together. Yeah, something has to change. And for me, it needs to be done ASAP. Like, I can't I don't think, or I can't accept him being the coach this Sunday. It's not possible for me. So hopefully the club makes a decision very soon. Bo says need you to stay on long so we can vent. Yeah, you're welcome to send your thoughts and comments Um, yeah, express yourselves. This is why I've got the channel here. So yeah, feel free to let me know what you guys are thinking. Um, Boss his game out now, so I don't have a clue. He doesn't. He has no idea what to do right now. He's lost in every shape and form. He's lost. So I'm sorry. There is nothing else but to sack him tomorrow. There's no coming back. He can't be given the luxury to turn things around next month or given a few more weeks. And FSG need to be cutthroat in this moment. Can't be sentimental. And Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, they've got to be ruthless and they've got to dismiss him and they've got to find the right person to take us forward. So that's their task going forward. That's what they're paying the big bucks for. So they got to figure it out. Bonkers, big up Bonkers. He says, I don't care. Put Robert right back just until someone's available. Do you know what, Bonkers? It's not even a bad shout. At this stage, anything is better than what we're doing right now. To be fair, I, Jones at right back wasn't bad today, so I don't think that was the problem. But everything else didn't work either. So, we'll probably clutch in terms of what worked because nothing worked. And I think that's just down to mentality. No faith in the coach, no faith in the tactics, and we're just disjointed and we're all bewildered on the pitch. So when that happens, you've got to change directions at the club. Musa, big up Musa, he says, Canal's perform as well was diabolical. Liverpool need another centre back. I think we need about 2 or 3 new centre backs, honestly. And he left the pitch smirking again, which peed me off. Everyone was awful. Yeah, you're right, bonkers. Mm. But also, do you actually think, Ozzy, that he will be sacked tomorrow? Because unfortunately, I can't see at all. I don't know. My mind is saying that it has to be tomorrow. It has to be. The only way it's delayed is if they've got someone lined up and they're not quite ready to announce it. That's the only delay. So then he gets West Ham. But I don't want it to be where, we somehow get a win and then it's like, oh, he can turn it around. No, for me, it's done. That doesn't matter what result. Even if we go win today, for me, the writing is still on the wall that he needs to go. So let's see. Yes. Wayne sister Musa, I agree, but if Slot is here, it won't help. It won't help, not at all. Musa to Wayne says they really should push for Klopp to come back to the end of the season because right now it's bad, but seems still savable in terms of Europe. I can't even think about Europe, to be honest with you. I really can't. For me, I just need a new manager to just change it and basically settle the ship again. Because right now, it doesn't even matter. It has to. We just need a change. We just need a change, and it's very, very desperate times right now. Ozan says, "I'm tired of Indie Khalees novels, man. He just make up stories. I don't know. Maybe because I want it to happen, I'm believing it, but I don't know." Um, Wayne says, like I said on Uncle Ross channel, Man United had emergency meetings last season, and the manager's still there. Yeah, but that's the fan base. The fan base are just they're a bit all over the place. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like the Liverpool fans and the Liverpool community right now, we're not crashing out because we're emotional people. We have valid reasons for crashing out. To be fair, because we are current champion and we're playing like this, it's not acceptable. So that's how I'm looking at it. Um, Let me bring on Fozzie, and then I'll read the rest of the comments. 'Cause quite a few, but I don't want to keep him waiting for too long. Let me bring on Fozzie. Fozzie, are you there? I think he probably stepped out. I'll leave him on screen so when he does return, we can speak to him when he's available. So in the meantime, I will go through some of the comments. So what's the last comment that I said? Um, Abdul, big up Abdul says we need to be sacked. No, he needs to be sacked.
1 second, bro.
I know it's
Sorry,
one
mate.
second. No worries.
I got the volume down, so I can't even hear you. I was just letting you speak. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, man. What's going on, my guy, man?
Talk to me, man.
There's nothing that we can
Talk-
say, mate. The last time we was here, we was like telling everybody what's happening. You
Yeah,
know, like when you support a club, Ozzy,
mm,
for so long, you know what I mean? Through the good times and bad times,
yeah,
you got this telepathy thing, and you know when things are wrong, you know
yeah,
when things are good in it. And when you know like there's nothing there as well. There's just I'm
yeah.
watching this team. I don't know what Van Dijk was doing with that handball. I don't know like if he's doing a Gerrard. Remember Gerrard against Blackburn when he purposely missed that when he purposely missed that penalty. It looks like the
Yeah, I
same
remember.
thing. But the thing is like when you look at that, how can you trust those players around the different manager if they're doing that to him right now? You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I
it's
think
true.
you know what is Ozzy, yeah? The problem with our fan base, we're like that loyal dog. You know what I mean? We're just loyal to anybody because of
Yeah,
what they've done in the past, and we don't move on. If you know what I mean. I think it's not just the manager I want to move on from. Some of the senior players need to just
yeah,
go, and we need to concentrate on the future, my brother. That
mm,
means the Vertses of this world, the Isaks of this world, Ekatikes of this world, Leone
yeah,
when he gets back, all these players. That's what we
mm,
need to concentrate on because if the senior players are letting every forget about the head coach, we already know, innit? Majority of us
yeah,
has said, there's no tactics, there's no pattern of play and all that stuff. But when the effort and commitment is not there from the players, what's the actual point supporting them as well? You know what I mean? If they could do this right now, they probably, if they don't like the next manager, they'll do the same thing again and galvanize all the players together and do the same thing as they do it. You know what I mean?
it's true.
So yeah, there's a lot of things at this football club that's just not right. I think some of the players that have over. You know what I wish for Salah because the criticism he's getting. I wish he just left on a high last season, won the Premier
Yeah,
League on his own as he did, and sailed away so they could remember him. And when things go wrong, they say, "Why did we get rid of?" You know what I mean? Salah, we miss
yeah.
Salah like we do with Gerrard and all that stuff. I wish he
He
did that,
tarnished
but
his
now,
legacy a little bit, I think.
yeah, bro, he's
The
done
way he's
himself
doing
in,
that.
man. He's done
Mm,
himself in, bro. And you know what the worst part of it is? When I look at Arne Slot, I know. I said I don't want to speak about Arne Slot. He's as big as of a corporate as these players today. I'll tell you why. I got a feeling the reason he's not playing the likes of Chiesa, Gomez, Endo, and all these guys, just to make it a solid team in it. That's all we're asking for, innit? So you don't concede
yeah,
goals and all that stuff. Imagine they won, bro. If he played those
mm,
players, that backlash he will get. Do you get what I'm
yeah,
saying? So you
yeah.
got to look at it from that point of view. That's
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 true.
what he's worried about. That's what he's worried about. So he's going against the grey, and
Yeah,
still playing these players just to avoid that kind of thing. And when you're
mm,
doing things like that, more or less you get sacked. The results don't go your way, and
yeah,
that's what's gonna happen with him. Unfortunately, guys, he's sacked. Let me just put it out there, guys. He's sacked. There's no way back from this. Was it 9 games out of 12 or something like that? Nah,
yeah,
come on, guys. Come on, like you got to be serious here. This is the best team we have assembled since 1987 when we got John Barnes, John Aldridge, Peter
yeah,
Beasley, Peter Beasley, sorry, Ray Houghton, and all these players. Well, we got that squad under Kenny Dalglish after
yeah.
he won that league on his own. As I remember, Chelsea away when he chested the ball and slotted it in the top corner when we came out from that 12th position and won the league. You know what I mean?
Mm,
That was a special team, but he made a different team that was much better, and that team was the most exciting team to watch in the first division back in the day. And then we buy these players like Verts, Isak, all these players, Kirkes, Frimpong,
yeah,
Ekatike. When you buy these type of players, you expect to reach another level, especially with a core team that's still there from last season. If you know what I mean, Ozzy.
yeah.
And
That's
yeah, and then let's make a long story short. This is what's happening. Every game we play is the same as the previous one. But the worst
yeah.
part of it is it's not just the same as the previous one. It's getting worse.
Getting
We haven't lost
worse.
to we haven't lost to PSG, guys. We've lost to PSV.
They
You
might be
know what I mean?
wearing blue and they might be wearing a blue shirt, but it's not PSG.
It's not PSG. It's PSV. You know what I mean? With a V at the end of it. put the P and S and a
Yeah,
V at the end of it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And a Dutch team at that as well. That's struggling. You know what I mean? Look at Ajax, bottom of the Champions League table.
yeah.
Yeah, bro. We're in a mess, man. I don't know what you think, bro. I want to hear from your point of view because I like hearing from
No,
you.
I hear everything you said. Honestly, you've heard. Obviously, we spoke a couple of days ago as well. I've
Yeah,
had enough of this coach. Like for me, he's just shown his true ability, in my opinion. I feel like last season he pretty much continued what Klopp had in terms of the setup because he didn't make too many tweaks, too many changes in terms of the way we played, and obviously that helped him to gain that title. This year, there's always going to be that debate. Were these players his signing? I think it's irrelevant because these players that we've signed, and some may agree or disagree, these are talented players that we signed in the summer.
yeah, yep,
They are talented players. I don't care what anyone has to say because eventually, when we do get that next coach, you will see what level of play that we're going to have with this team because these are young players that are still learning the game, but they're of high potential within their sort of age bracket as well. So for me, this season, I feel like everything's just gone completely the opposite of what we were all expecting. We were all on a high after the summer, thinking, do you know what we've signed? Isak. Isak was like a pipe dream for me. Like, I thought
yeah,
we'd never sign Isak. Like it was just, I thought I was wasting my breath talking about it on my shows because I'm thinking that's not going to happen. We
yeah,
signed him. We signed Ekatike. Verts was a pleasant surprise. Like that came out of the blue. One of the
yeah,
best number 10s in world football. But he hasn't helped these players. He hasn't played them in their natural position. He's not played them to benefit their skill sets. And I feel
yeah,
like that has been his downfall. And I kind of see a lot of stubbornness in his demeanor as well. Because
yeah,
like you said, like if he was to play Endo, Chiesa, Gomez, whoever, and we win games, people will be like, well, why didn't you play him before? So it's like you
exactly.
counter respond to him. Like, what's wrong with you? Like,
Yeah,
you've got the players there, but you're not utilizing them.
yeah,
He knows that, with these players, the morale is down. And I feel like he lost the dressing room a long time ago. A long, long.
yeah,
I think it might have been a Brentford game that I feel like I can officially say I feel like that's when he lost the dressing room.
yeah,
That's when I felt it more so than not. Because the way we played in that game and the response after that, everything was just downhill.
yeah.
When we lose, like look at today, we conceded the first goal in the opening 5 minutes. That is
Look
the
at
tale of our story every game.
that.
It's a
Yeah,
joke, and it's like I'll say it as a joke, like, oh, we're gonna concede and we end up doing it. It's like I'm not even finding it
um,
funny because, like you said, like I'm really numb to it now. Like today, I see some fans and content creators crashing out, but my crash out happened last weekend, so I can't
yeah,
crash out anymore. Like
mm,
I've done the crashing out element. Now it's
yeah,
just like I'm numb to it, and I and I need to see changes going forward because if this club doesn't have the balls to make changes, then it's back to the ownership conversation again. Because
yeah.
now I'm questioning their credibility as businessmen or businesswomen,
Exactly,
however you want to
exactly,
phrase
mate.
it.
Exactly,
So
mate.
something has to change. And I he shouldn't be in charge this weekend. He needs to be dismissed as soon as
Yeah,
possible for me.
yeah.
There is no coming back. There is
Nope.
no, oh, let's give him some time, let him figure it out. No. This the Forest game was the nail in the coffin for me. This He's he's buried. He's buried under the ground. There is no coming back after that. So
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if he's there. But I don't know. There might still be some fans that are slotting. I need to know why. That's what I would say. I need to know why because
Hmm.
you're either trolling and you're not a real Liverpool fan,
Yeah.
or you're blindly supporting someone just because they achieved something last year.
As I said,
That's what I don't know.
we're like a loyal dog, my friend. That's
We
what
are
we
very
are.
loyal.
I mean,
Yes,
I've always
we
said
are.
it like, you know what it is, my brother, Ozzy? Like, the older fans, the reason we stay around because we don't want to leave the club to these new fans. I'm sorry to say that. I'm being serious in this one
Mm,
because,
yeah,
you know, they were born in the 30-year era. You know what I mean? The era where Liverpool was mediocre, signing Barinis, Lamberts, and all this stuff. So
yeah,
they used to be mediocre. But they
yeah,
talk about Bill Shankly a lot. and I don't think they really studied Bill Shankly's way
Yeah.
of football.
Yeah.
Bill Shankly took over a club in the second tier, which was, he called it a toilet at the time. A toilet.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? You know, you're shit. You know what I mean? He said it. It came out of his mouth. He called our
Yeah.
club shit, and and
Yeah.
and he had to get that club out of that shit to become a relevant club, to be the bastion of invisibility. That's his words. Bastion of invisibility. He wants it to be the best of the best. You know what I mean? And then he made it into the best of the best. And then,
Yeah.
Bob Paisley took over. We won all those trophies. Joe Fagan, we won all those trophies. The first treble, I mean, it's a League Cup, but who cares? Still a treble to
Yeah.
me. And then Kenny after that. And then we took it to different levels. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we had the barren 30 years. Jurgen comes back, tells us that us to believers. And then, so Yogi comes along, turns us to doubt us to believers. We win the league, we win the Champions League, we win something we haven't even won, which is the World Club Cup as well. Under even Shankly and Paisley, we've never won that, and Fagan, we haven't won that. So that's something he brought. So we've won every major trophy under Klopp, and then he left a team behind. That's the average age, I think, was 23. If you know what I mean, last season. And this guy took over, and I've been bribed into, you've been bribed into, the chat has been bribed into. He's not different from Jurgen Klopp, not a lot. He probably
Yeah.
spring off Pep Guardiola a bit with the pass and possession thing.
Yeah.
And now you look at us. We look like a shadow of Jurgen Klopp's team.
Yeah.
We look nothing like, we don't look like anything close to Pep Guardiola's team, and we haven't even got a pattern of play. We've got
No.
nothing. We're
Nothing.
watching
Yeah.
us. I'm trying to find out, like, what is the direction we're heading towards. Even
Yeah.
listen, you could win, you could lose, you could draw, as long as you got something there that you could
Yeah.
hold on to that makes you look forward to the future. It's fine.
Mm.
I'm fine with that. And we're not even a negative fans. None of us here. I mean, we're
Yeah.
actually we're as loyal as it can get. But there's a
Yeah.
time you say enough is enough when you're losing
Yeah.
so many games. We don't even listen. We don't even lose away from home. Just we lose at Anfield now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're losing at Anfield, and not only that, the worst of the worst, and everybody needs to look at it when you watch Liverpool at the moment. We don't even know the goalkeepers' names of the opposition because we don't see them. You know what I mean? We don't see the goalkeeper of. Do you know the goalkeepers of PSV today? I don't remember his name. I don't remember
No.
seeing him.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
apart from
remember
picking
seeing
up
this.
the,
Yeah.
and then you look at the Nottingham Forest game, similar. And you know what
Yeah.
the worst thing is as well. On top of that, there's no like an outstanding performer from each teams. They just play their game and they win. You never see a
Yeah.
standout performer. I've never seen one in
No.
Nottingham Forest game or this game or the games before that at Man United. I haven't seen standout performers. We just see
It's true.
teams that just come to Anfield, play hard to beat, and they hit us on the break, and they're always
Yeah.
scoring goals. All the ball has to do is get into that 6 yard box. If Alice is in
Yeah.
goal or Mama Dashfeld is in goal, it's still going to be a
Yeah.
goal. It's,
Yeah.
it's sad.
And it's even today, like PSV aren't a long ball team. They
No.
play decent football today. And I'm not trying to say that, oh, we got outplayed or anything, but because there's all this notion that, oh, we can't handle long balls and low blocks and all that sort of stuff. They didn't really play like that, to be fair. It's just that we didn't really play our game. We didn't really, to be fair, I don't know what our game is
I don't
anyway,
know
but
what
my
game
point
is,
is
bro. None of us do.
we just didn't play. Like we didn't step up at all. So that's the concern. It's like we've spoken about this before. Like no one is not immune to not losing. Of course, football is football. You win some, you lose some, right? So that's just part of the game. But it's like there's no effort. There's
Hmm.
nothing from this team that gives me any confidence. How am I
Yeah.
looking at the next 10 fixtures and scratching my head in terms of when is the next win coming from? And then we're not playing all the big teams either. These are like teams in and around the relegation. I don't know
Yeah.
where our next win's coming from. I'm worried about
Scary
West Ham
times.
this
Scary
weekend.
times, bro.
Like, why, as a Liverpool fan, should I be worried about West Ham, respectively? Like, that's not how it should be. And I
Mm-hmm.
have no ounce of faith that we'll get anything unless there's a managerial change, because that will give you that lift. Because I feel like the players need a lift. They are so
Mm-hmm.
deflated right now. And look, Slot for me is the one of the main reasons why we're going for. But the players still need to be held accountable as well.
Yeah.
Like the players can't escape this. They have to look at themselves in the mirror. Bar Sobozlai. Sobozlai is the only one that's performed to his level. and he's pretty much carried the
As I
team.
said to you, Ozzy, this is the
Yeah,
perfect opportunity to get rid of the older players, mate. This is a
yeah,
perfect opportunity. You know, like when you need that, you know when you need that moment. You know what I mean? Where
yeah,
the fans can't argue with each other about your players leaving. You know, the
yeah,
whole Liverpool organization can't argue with players leaving. This is the perfect moment now.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
and go forward. You've got nothing to lose. Go and play with these the young players. Let's go now. You know what I mean? We don't need you, Salah. We don't need you, Van Dijk. We don't need you, Canal. You can go all whatever you want. Go to Real Madrid, whatever you guys want to do.
yeah,
Go out there. Let's just go with the youngsters now. We've got nothing to lose, bro. And you know the players that's going to give you 100% on the pitch. Just go with these
yeah.
guys now because the way these senior players are playing, Ozzy, is
Mm,
unacceptable, bro. I can't believe, and we're talking about Van Dijk and Salah like this season. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
embarrassing, bro. I mean, it just happened. Listen, that handball today typified it for me. It's a
yeah,
carbon copy of our season. If you want to mirror image our season, that handball
mm,
from Van Dijk is it. That is it. That's
mm,
how our season has turned out. Nobody cares anymore. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because the goals we concede in is so easy. It's preventable if you
yeah.
was like actually trying, but they don't even try anymore.
Because the
I'm
thing
done,
is,
man. I'm
people
done.
say, "Oh, it's individual errors," but the thing is, it's
No,
not just down to it's a mental thing. It's a mentality where they're not trying. They're not giving their all because when you're playing football, you want to focus, you want to play a certain way. But if defenders are lackluster on the ball and not really thinking about what to do next or just messing around, that's when you start having issues all over the team. And I feel like, unfortunately, that's rubbed off on everyone else as well. Like from an attacking point of view, we don't press as a team.
nope.
So the energy, the focal point is not there. So there's so much issues that honestly I don't see the good in this team right now. On paper, we've got talented players. That's what I will
Yeah,
say, but we
yeah.
haven't shown it this season. So I don't know.
I don't. Look, the thing is, bro, we could stay here to the end of the season with these players and play every game the same. It ain't gonna change, bro.
Yeah,
It's just gonna get worse. Pull the cord, as they say, before it gets out of control. You know what I mean? Let's stop. Let's put it in a stop right now. He's
yeah,
as a head coach. I'm looking at this slot, bro. Like if you want to stay in a job, you got to change things. He's
yeah,
refusing.
yeah,
He's refusing, and Van Dijk is not leading the team as it should. Salah is not leading the team as he should. So if everything is not connecting, you just got to pull the cord because it ain't gonna get any better. It's just gonna get worse. You don't want to put yourself as a fan in this situation that you're gonna hate your players, man. Because that's the way it's
yeah,
headed at the moment with damn social media. I don't know if you guys watch social media lately. Van Dijk is getting hounded. So is Salah. So is Kanate. You know what I mean? These
yeah,
people are getting ridiculed at the moment, man. And it's rightly
mm,
so because they're not trying on the pitch. As I said, pull the cord. Make Robertson captain. Let him lead the team from a left back position and just let's move forward with the youngsters. At least he tries when he plays. He might not be the best
yeah.
of Robertson, but at least he
But he
gives you
tries.
100%. Yeah, that's all we
Yeah,
need. So let's just go forward. Put Gomez in the team, put Endo in the team, put Chiesa in the team, and see what
mm,
we can do. Because what you got to lose?
mm,
There's nothing.
yeah.
Guys, we're below Everton and Man United. You know what I mean? That cannot be more embarrassing than anything in the world right now.
So
And not only
true.
that, we lose against West Ham, we got even lower than that. So we've got to be careful what we're doing here. Let's go with the team that's going to give us heart and grit and, like you said, desire and effort and
Yeah,
commitment. There's minimal things you request from players when they play football, like Kenny Dalglish used to say, effort and commitment. I don't see no effort. I don't see
no.
no commitment. I don't see no desire. I don't see nothing. If you're losing 4-1 to PSV at home, just call it a day, guys. I
Yeah,
mean, just go away. When the fans are leaving, you know what I love about our football club, guys? We don't boo players. Our statement
yeah.
is when we actually walk
Walk
away
out.
and watching this shit. You know what I mean? Other teams will boo their football club. No, no, but our statement is that. And our head coach is still not listening. And this is what's going to get him the sack. Because, we give statements to him all the time. We give him time and patience, and he's still like not learning from that. So yeah, I'm done, bro. I'm done a long time. I've done it a couple of weeks ago. After international
Yeah,
football, sorry, when the
yeah,
second time I gave him another chance, he came back after international football and he's still
yeah.
playing a midfielder as a right back and a midfielder as a centre back. How much more can I take of that, man? Enough now. Enough. Nothing's
No,
changing, man.
I hear you.
Fozzie's had
Cross,
enough.
big up.
Fozzie's had enough, you know.
I'll blame him.
People don't understand. We're the most positive people, you know. Like for
Mm.
my age, you know what I mean. Like we
Yeah,
don't really have a go at
Yeah.
managers
Good.
all the time, but there's time you got to say enough is enough, man. Like the amount of games, 9 out of 12 games. Come on, bro. That's embarrassing, man. And then
We could be.
not only that, you take us out of the League Cup for what exactly? What have we
Yeah,
achieved?
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Exactly. I knew it was going to backfire on him. Do you know what I mean? But you know what
mm,
it is, yeah? We could be out of the running of the league, yeah? Or
mhm,
even getting like fourth place, yeah? And we could be out of the Champions League.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We got pam-
Vacancy.
we got packed tonight, yeah, at home, right? What do you think Inter Milan's going to do to us? What do you think Marseille's going to do to us? And then both of those games are away from home.
Yeah,
We're laughing sort. There's Indicator, or his name is. He
yeah,
come up with a statement. He come up with a statement tonight saying about like apparently they're gonna have an emergency meeting in the morning to discuss sort of like where they go from here and discuss sort of like the future of Varley Slot. Do you know what I mean? So
Did
so
you guys see? Was it second goal or third goal? Fourth? I don't know. I think it was the fourth goal when
yeah.
Gakpo misplaced the pass. Did you see the players running back?
Oh, there's
no,
barely anyone on that right wing. It was literally Kirkhead was the one that was trying to chase back. There was no one there. Just
yeah,
acres of
and
space. Guy had time to hit that shot. It's ridiculous.
Kirkhead. I think Kirkhead to me, not being funny, Kirkhead had a good game tonight.
He wasn't bad.
Yeah. And
He
he
wasn't the
wasn't.
worst player on the pitch.
No. I thought he had. All right, not an amazing game,
No, but he
but
wasn't the worst. Definitely not.
yeah, he
Mm,
wasn't the worst. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And like
Mm,
the way the team is playing at the moment, it's just not good enough. It's literally not good enough, and he keeps on doing that. He keeps on doing that, pulling off defenders, and putting on attackers.
yeah.
So you're literally playing sort of like three at the back.
And
What
he
it
said
is,
that in his post-match reaction, Unks. He said that like I keep doing that, but it's just not working. He said that, he said that after the
why are you
game.
doing it for then? Why are you doing it then? Isn't that the definition of insanity?
Your time is done in it when even the rebounds don't go for you. The ball hit the post and it went straight to their player, and he scored.
Fuck's
Even
sake.
even the rebounds don't go for you. You know what I mean? It's a joke, guys.
I,
Like, oh man, you couldn't make it up.
he just come on as well. That guy just come on.
He's got
That guy, that guy just come on and he
two
scored a
goals. He
goal.
scored. He scored two. He scored
Yeah,
the last two
that's
goals.
what I'm trying to say.
Crazy.
It's pathetic. You cannot tell me at the end of the day, right, that this head coach is good enough. You cannot tell me he was ever good enough. He was
Yeah.
never good enough for the club. Because I'm not being funny at the end of the day, right? Yeah, right. It's like when he came into the club with this team, he came into a team at the day that was sort of like literally ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Right? He didn't really do anything much to the team in order for them to win the league. All he did is number one at the day, right? Is like pull pull sort of like Gravenberg a bit more deeper and
Yeah,
two play slower. So basically, they always had possession of the ball. But the thing is about it, and they had the players to do that at that time. There, the likes of
yeah,
Jota, the likes of Jota, yeah, obviously Jota, rest in peace. The likes
yeah,
of Diaz. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Even
yeah,
Harvey Elliott came on certain times.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But this team, go show right here how good the team was when he
Do you
came
know
in.
what it is? Do you know what it is, Unks? It's because he didn't change anything when he came in. That's why it
No, that's what
worked.
I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
the structure was there. It just needed someone to manage it. That's all
He
it needed,
didn't.
Carry
He,
on.
hasn't,
and that's what he did. But the
he
thing
didn't
is,
need to change a thing.
this season, he went so attacking, thinking that we could outscore teams in every game that we play. It's just backfired. You know what I mean?
No, but
You don't do that. You don't do that.
what he done.
You have to respect the Premier League at the same time, guys.
No, but
You know
what he
what I mean?
done for
Because
what
every team always improves. You know what I mean? Every team
Yeah.
they look at the top team, they look at the team that's won the league, they measure themselves against that team. If you know what I mean,
yeah,
guys.
but what he done
And
what he done this
yeah,
season. What he done this season, and he believed in his own arrogance. That's what he done this season, right?
No, but the
Because
thing
he didn't realize at the day, he didn't realize that team before at the day, right? That team before, right? He didn't need to do anything to it,
nope, he
anything
didn't.
to
He
it,
didn't. He
and
didn't.
he won the league and from that. So what you should have done is this, right? If you was gonna get rid of players, right? What you should have done is replace those players. Yeah, like the left wing
Yeah.
with with Diaz at the day. He might not have been the best player, but and he wanted to leave for last season, wanted to go to Man City, right? But what it was at the day when he put that shirt on, he gave you 100% commitment and 100% passion, and that's all he can ask for. You didn't
Yeah.
replace him. You should have replaced him at the day, right? With the likes of Rodrigo, right, from Real Madrid. You should have like with all the and ahhing and they would with Rodrigo at that club, right? Yeah, when he didn't know if he had a place or not, you should have come in, swoop right in and they right and say, look, here's 80 million, give us a player. That's what you should have done. Yeah, you should have
Yeah.
done at the day what Chelsea done to Real Madrid all those years ago when Real Madrid didn't want to give Claude McAnally when they didn't want to give him a pay rise, and they was giving everybody else pay rises. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
likes of like Zidane and all them man, they was giving them all pay rises, but they weren't giving him a pay rise. He said, "What? That's not fair. I'm doing as much work as everybody else, if not more." They didn't want to give him a pay rise, right? Chelsea realized that the day that Claude McAnally wasn't happy at Real Madrid. What did they do? They went in there, gave Real Madrid 17 million for him, and they right, and they got the player, and he was the best defensive midfielder at that time.
He
You know what I
was.
mean? That's what we should have done at the day to Rodrigo. That's what we should have done to Mark Gay. If there was say that they wanted 40 million for Mark Gay and for that, just give him 43 million. There you go, 43 million. As long as you get your player, you got your player. But the thing is about it today,
True,
right?
true.
We did not replace players with players at the end of the day, yeah, right. And then the second thing was right. Arne Slot and they believe in his own arrogance again, right? Thinking that they well, I can play all these players at the day from the beginning, right? And they're gonna fire for me.
Yeah.
they're gonna do me wonders and all that. Rare. No, that didn't work out because you can't do that. You can't play these players all at once. So
Nope.
then what you've done at the day, you've done it the back way round now. You turn it backwards now, right? And started to play them sort of like now and again. Do you know what I mean? As of
Too
Yeah.
late.
as
Too
of
late
when?
now, man. It's too late. It's
It's
too
too
late
late
now,
now. You
man.
should have
Like,
done that before,
Too
right?
late.
Should have done it before, right? Your formation at the day that you're playing stinks because when you're getting beaten at the day, right, you start panicking and start taking off defenders, right? Yeah, taking off defenders and bringing on attackers. So you're literally playing at the day with like three at the back, but the three at the back you're playing with at the day, playing with is a midfielder and a fullback and one defender.
And the
that's
worst
it.
part of it, the midfielder you put there, he can't defend it. He's part of the
Yeah.
problem that can't defend
He-
in the first place. You know what I mean? Fuck's sake. Make that make
Because
sense, guys. Just make that make sense.
you know what it is because the defender that the midfield that he puts in there is not he's not a defensive player. He's been molded into a defensive player. Did you ever see at the end of the day, right? I go sort of like Klopp wanted Gini Wijnaldum at the day as a holding midfielder and a more defensive type, yeah, right? On the ball. Did you ever see Klopp play Gini Wijnaldum as a centre back? Did you ever see him do that?
No. No.
Yeah,
He's never
once,
done that.
once, once, once as an emergency when we
Once there's
played
an emergency, yeah.
Love Wrong and Emre Can, Brighton
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
That was the only time.
Right. So what you're saying to me is, right? Gini Wijnaldum was there for about 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 years,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and he got converted into sort of like a holding midfielder,
Yeah.
and we could only remember one time that he
And
played in.
there was a good reason for that day because we had no centre backs. They were all
Right,
injured.
exactly. Jealous, I'm saying. Now he's playing midfielders as defenders when we got the players
Defenders
there
on the bench.
at the day on the bench and the day to fill in.
And both of your
The guy
fullbacks
hasn't
are
got the clue.
inverting as well. That's a big problem as well. Both of your fullbacks are inverted fullbacks. So so
Exactly.
you want them to come inside. You want your two wide men to stay out wide, but none of them like to take the fullback on. So how does that make sense as well? It's
Exactly.
just
Now
it's just
I said
terrible tactics.
I said at the end of the day, right? This is what I said, right? Is that no matter what Arnie Slot won in sort of like in Holland in Eredivisie,
Yeah.
DVB Cup, nearly won the league at the end of the day with Ozzie Ahmed, right? Akmar, so Ozzie Akmar, nearly won the league with him, but COVID kicked in. Well, that's not my problem. You didn't win it, yeah, right? Won the league final. That wasn't to me. To me, this is what I was. This is what I was thinking. Yeah, compared to Amron, yeah, right. That wasn't nearly as much experience to come into Liverpool with. You understand what I'm getting at? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I would have rather him win more. I would rather him more. If he say like he won like 4 league titles with Feyenoord, then I can understand. I can
Yeah.
understand. You know what I mean? Yeah, you won one league at the day with Feyenoord and one DVB Cup with Feyenoord. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
you put that in comparison to what Amron won at Sporting Lisbon and at Braga as well. Yeah, right. It's in pale comparison to what I only Slot won, right? And the only reason that Amron flopped when he come to Man United because that team stinks. It still stinks now. It still stinks now. That's why I'm so embarrassed that we got beaten by them at home. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, right? I honestly feel, and this will be my opinion, and this will be my strong feeling, and I'll take this to my grave. Yeah, Arne Slot should never been at Liverpool. He should have never been at Liverpool. And what it was at the day, right? Yeah, this is what you get at the day, right? For mugging off a true legend of a manager in Arne Slot. Yes, certain days Arne Slot. Some of some of the reasons that they Arne Slot has to take some of the blame. It was a small portion in comparison to what FSD done to him.
You're talking about Jurgen Klopp, innit? You're talking about Jurgen, right?
Yeah,
Jurgen
yeah,
Klopp, you mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said
yeah,
Arne
yeah,
Slot. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you need
yeah,
Jurgen, mate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is in the days. I'll say yes. I know in the days sort of like in the whole situation and day, sort of like in Klopp leaving, I know that Klopp's not too full, he's not fully innocent, but it's a pale comparison to where the FSG treated him over 9 years. Considering that and day what he done for Liverpool Football Club, he brought us back at the day to be a serious club again.
True.
He brought us back to that. He even revived the boot room for fuck's sake. He got it.
Mm.
He got it. He got what it was like to be at the day a Liverpool manager. You know what I mean? He just got it. From the first day he came in, he just got it. What it was supposed to be, what was required at the day to be a Liverpool manager.
Yeah.
This guy,
That's why we need to cut the cord before
Yeah,
it all
exactly.
disappears.
yeah, of course you do, of
Well,
course you do. I'm with you, Fuzzy. I wouldn't,
yeah.
you know what I mean? We need to cut the cord before
It's
it gets
impossible.
really serious. I'm talking about
Rotten like Man United, Yeah, we don't want to go through that
yeah,
shit, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right, Fuzzy. 100% right. Because you know it isn't there. You come to a certain part of the season and or a certain part of the Liverpool structure, for instance, Liverpool team, where it will take you about 5 years to get repair it.
Yeah, we don't want to
And
go through that.
which one of those players in that team is going to stick around for 5 years? You tell me.
They'll leave him, mate. I've even heard Florian Wirtz could be out till March. There's a story coming out.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Oh.
Oh.
Probably looking for a way out too. You know what I mean? You can't blame these players, mate. If you treat them like shit, man, what do you expect they're gonna do?
Yeah,
They're gonna stick around?
yeah,
Hell no, man.
it's
This club
true.
What's
ain't
up?
going anywhere. We're not going anywhere at the moment, guys. We're stuck, man. We're fucked.
Mm,
I mean, if we lose to West Ham, which more likely we will lose, because if you look at the form we're in,
yeah,
and then you look at Nuno Espirito Santos, who actually almost did a double against us last season with Nottingham Forest. He's the only one
yeah,
that beat us at home, and he drew with us, so he got points out of us last season. Not
yeah,
many managers did that, so he will know what to do against us, especially West Ham away in the London Stadium. Although they're
yeah,
in a bad period, it doesn't mean they're not going to perform. Because all you have to do against Liverpool now is just work hard, and
yeah,
you don't really need an like an outstanding performer or anything like that. If the team just works hard and gets the opportunities in front of goal, to score them, mainly
yeah.
score the first goal, and then you're going to win the game at the end. Because
Got
look
it
at
again.
today again. Again, look what
Yeah,
happened to us again. Conceded the first goal, penalty. What happened? We got an equaliser. And I said that to you guys. Remember when I was talking about the Man City game? I said, they were crying
yeah.
about the Van Dijk goal. I said, even if we scored that goal, we were still going to lose that game.
Makes no
There was no,
difference.
yeah, so there's no difference, even if we get an equaliser. So, yeah. West Ham's going to be difficult, guys. I'm telling you, man, prepare for this game. We ain't going to win that game. The way we're performing, we're not
No,
going to win any of those games.
The
no,
only thing I'll
no.
say about the Man City game, was, yeah, I I totally get what you're saying. Totally get what you're saying. Right? Even if we get the goal, we still would have lost anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only thing I will say about that is the principle of it. If it's a goal, it's a goal.
It's a goal, yeah. But
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you understand
the
what I'm saying?
reason,
You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%, I agree with you, 100%. But the reason I say that is because we had a penalty before that saved, you know what I mean, by the
yeah,
goalkeeper, Mama Teshvili. So he kept
yeah.
it as 0-0, and it still didn't wake them up, and it still went a goal up. That's what I'm trying to say, guys.
Now
So
you'd
Yeah,
expect
I
a
get you.
reaction from that, but there was no reaction from that penalty
yeah,
save. That's the
there you
problem right
go.
there. Yeah, there
No,
was no
I
reaction.
feel you. I feel you. I feel your point. I feel your point.
So,
Right. You know what? I'm eating a Jammy Dodger at the moment, yeah, right? That's the best part of my evening, you know.
trust me, got to do what cheers you up because this is dark times for us fans right now. I'm
Hello.
hoping Liverpool sort it out because the longer he stays in
Yeah,
the position, I feel like it's gonna get worse and worse. Like we need to make a decision in the next
ASAP.
24, 48 hours ASAP. We really do
Yeah.
because it's not going to get any better. And all that hardware, like you guys have mentioned, all that hardware that Klopp's done over the years
Oh
is
my God.
going to go into the mud like so quickly.
Why did he
Like
have to do that, Ozzy? Like, it's a simple management style. Like, just
yeah,
stick with what you got. You know what I mean? The
yeah,
first season, you've done it. You won the league. The second season is
yeah,
going to be the most difficult one. But the most
yeah,
important in the second season is that if you win it the second
yeah,
season, make it 21 number one. That's another
yeah,
celebration on top of the other
yeah,
celebration, which would be even more celebration. That
yeah,
you do that. And not only that, it's the pathway to dominance. So
yeah,
you could implement your ideas, because you get not only Pep Guardiola is going to leave the league, so is Arteta at the same time, because this
yeah,
is his final season if he doesn't win the big major trophy. So you had that path going down that way. The way I would have done it, guys, as a coach, and I keep going back to it, is I'll, I'll play the core team that won the league last season in the beginning. That's what I would have
yeah.
done, and slowly integrated those new
Implement it.
players in.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
you do if you're a proper coach. That's why
yeah,
I've fallen out of love with this guy, because I'm thinking to myself, bro, you just put all those kids in and you threw them under the bus.
yeah,
And they're all
yeah,
scared now. When you watch them now, they all look timid. You look at Kirk Hess, looks timid. You look at
yeah,
Florian Wirtz, look timid. Even
yeah,
Ketike today, like, he tried a couple of things and then he messed it up afterwards. And then all of a sudden he's got hamstring, I think, or something like that, and went off.
yeah.
Like, come on,
Mhm.
man. Like, he had the thing, he had it in his hands. And he did the
He had
Graham
the
Souness.
blueprint. He
He did
literally
the
had
Graham
the
Souness.
blueprint.
He did the Graham
Yeah,
Souness, guys. That's what Graham Souness
yeah.
did in the 90s. When Kenny left,
Mm.
he should have just stuck with the team that he had and then slowly, changed it. He changed it
Yeah,
too fast.
tweaked
And
it as the
then
time went on. Yeah,
there you go. There you go, man.
You know what it is as well. You know, even with the changes, what he should have done is integrated them slowly.
slowly. Yeah,
And if people,
that's what Klopp did as well.
if people said to him and they sort of like, why aren't you paying these players and this and that, if people's getting on him like that, all you have to say to them is, look, I'm just trying to bring them in slowly. I'm trying to let them read. Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to let them read the game. Do you know what I mean? And see how I want them to play before I start playing them. Klopp did the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then
Exactly, man.
when they did come in, because remember then when they bought Fabinho, and everybody's screaming out, because why didn't he play Fabinho? I want him to play Fabinho because he knew the right time to play Fabinho. And when he
with
did play
Bobo.
for
Yeah.
when he did play for Fabinho, what happened? What
He
happened?
dominated. He dominated
It's
that
history.
midfield.
He
I
dominated.
mean,
That's what
people even
happened.
said he said he was the best DM in the world at one stage. I mean, better than
He
Rodri
Yeah.
and
was.
all those players. You know what I
He
mean?
was. He was.
And the only reason why these players like Henderson and they dropped off because they played far too many games.
And they didn't
Because
have the depth of
again,
the squad. Yeah, they
yeah,
didn't give
because
him.
again, as I say, in it fuzzy again,
Yeah.
Mm.
FSG didn't back them and get them backups and
Imagine
all
the
that.
dominance we could have done, man, if they backed him, get him the depth of that squad to rest everybody. We would have
Oh,
dominated, man.
Fuzzy don't, because it
Yeah,
just
but it's
makes
the
them
truth,
bet.
innit? This is what we do,
No,
innit? This is what this club does, mate. Like, we just don't learn. How can we wait, like, to the last day of the transfer window to get Gay? I still don't. It just baffles me, mate. How could we wait that long?
that's what he done.
How could we wait that long to get Caicedo? That baffles me too. You know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
always do this to ourselves.
Do
Yeah.
you know
We
what it
always
is?
shoot
Yeah,
ourselves in the foot.
you know what it is, today, Fuzz. I was actually thinking about that today, and I was thinking about the fact that what they should have had, yeah, is about two people, yeah, because they're supposed to have a transfer committee, right? Right, they should have two people on each person. So like, right, your job is to sort out Verts. Your job is to sort out Ekatike. Your job is to sort out Isaac. Your job is to sort out Mark Gay. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. Do you know what I mean? Having two people on to be and said like, right, we want
Yeah.
results. We want them
It's
at
every
club.
season. It's every season. You look at the Zubimendi one as well. It's always happening. Have you guys noticed that? It's always
Yeah.
happening. We're always shortchanged every single season to
So
dominate.
many. Jude Bellingham. The list goes on, man.
Exactly,
Honestly.
Yeah.
bro.
I don't think like Zimbendi, I don't even think there was in for him. I think that was all talk. Because how is it and how is it at the end of the day that we won the league last season? Yeah. Zubimendi never came to Liverpool because he said he was homesick and whatever, yeah? But then the following season, you rock up in London. But we were the champions,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that was all talk. I don't even think we was in for Zubimendi. Because what Liverpool tend to do, they tend to send out smoke screens. They tend
Yeah.
to send out
It might have been
smoke
PR.
screens. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean? Smoke screens
Yeah.
and that say that we was after this player and after that player. If
Yeah.
you was after that player and if that, right? How comes at the end of the day, right? How comes you never got him, but you was able to get the rest of the guys in this season? Remember at the
Yeah.
day, that was just one player that
Yeah.
there was after. One player that there was after. You never got him, but you was able this season and day to get Verts in, Ekatike,
Mm-hmm.
Isaac.
And beating off big teams as well to get them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So obviously, and that thing with Zubimendi was a smoke screen. They might have been interested, but there's no talk. I don't think there's any talks held.
But
Number
remember, he
one.
had a release clause as well, which we didn't want to pay. We wanted
Activate,
to pay
yeah.
in installments. So because of that, it came across that we didn't really want the player. We didn't want to go above and beyond to get the player, if that makes sense. Because if he's got a release clause, you just pay, you just make the payment.
Pay the damn thing.
Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but
But we were,
they weren't serious. They wasn't
no,
serious
they
at
weren't serious.
all.
They're
They
never
mu-
serious, guys.
you know what it is in
It's-
their fans, yeah? What they
Mm.
might have done, they might have inquired about him and said,
Mm.
"Oh, yeah, there's a release clause of 50 million," and they might have said, "Well, okay then, if we're gonna do it, we're probably gonna do it," and they sort of like in installments, and then the person will say, "Well, nah, my client ain't interested in all that," and he goes, "All right then, that's it, done." Do you know what I
You
mean?
know,
Because
you look at it, guys. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, Unks. You know, like
yeah, go on,
you look at last season, guys. Yeah. Well, you look at the team that we had last season. The luck he had on his side as a head coach on his slot is nobody knew what we was going to do. You know what I mean? Nobody
Yeah.
expected us to win the league title. So that's why
Yeah.
we went on that momentum, because nobody sets up for you to be difficult to beat. You know what I mean? The teams don't set up for us to beat them because they're difficult to. I think teams thought we was going to challenge for the title, so they played their game. That's why we probably won the league the way we did last season. No pressure without a DM. Because you look at this team this season, yeah, we don't really, when we're playing football, we don't really put the fear in other teams. We haven't got that player that scares the opponents. We don't do slide tackles. We don't do tactical fouls. We're just a nice team. You know what I mean? So we're basically performing like last season to this season, but we're forgetting the other teams are more. They know how you are because they're the champions. You know what I mean? So they got to try that extra harder against you. And then you, as a team, don't have that reply because you're still playing the same way as last season. Doing it in a way of like there's no fear factor. If you know what I mean, we haven't got. If you look at us, when players go, you look at Sobosai, you look at Gravenberch, you look at McAllister. Who's the aggressive out of them three? None of them, because they're not that type of players. So when we're watching our team right now, every team has a go at us. Do we make tactical fouls? Do we actually pick up yellow cards? No. So they cut through our team with ease now because they know where our weak points are. And this is where, in the transfer window, we should have bought a dominant midfielder that can back up these guys. That makes it, harder for teams to get past us. Like you guys mentioned, Fabinho, someone similar like that. I mean, and imagine where we would be right now, because majority of the goals we concede is more or less through the middle. You know what I mean? They cut through the middle, they pass it out wide, and then someone crosses it into the 6-yard box and it's over. But there's never a player that takes up, outside that 6-yard box to block the ball going to the player either, which is the DM that normally does that, if you know what I mean, guys. So listen,
Yeah.
we've asked for this. We've asked for this stuff because that's what we should have realized. You know what I mean? Like proper management, proper coaches, proper football club, they look at, what we could improve on next season. So this season, they didn't expect us to win the league, but we won the league. So next season, they're going to try that much harder against us. So we need this to stop these teams coming at us, because we're going to be the standard that everybody's watching. But we didn't go with that. We went with the arrogance. We play with the same team as last season. We add some more firepower. We'll add score teams, and then we transition through the season. It doesn't work like that, man. You've got to prepare properly for the Premier League. It's the hardest league to retain.
You're right. And the things about it is like, if you look at sort of Arne Slot, he was in a privileged situation when he came in. A privileged situation, and there's no way, even like in the summer, there's no way that he should have been letting go players at the end of the day, right, without the replacement. I'm sorry.
100%.
If Diaz wanted to go in and think that, you say, right, yeah, you can go, but you're not gonna go without getting a replacement, adequate replacement.
100%. But the
I mean?
reason I was saying what I was saying, Alex, is because if you look at the goals we conceded today against Nottingham Forest, all those goals are. You know why? It's because there's not a proper DM in that spot. He will read the pullbacks. You know what I mean? The pullback passes, Ozzie and Uncle. You know what I mean? And he will be going towards it aggressively, if you know what I mean, from a DM position. And people don't look into that. People, of course, that's what you do. That's what you do as a DM. You're supposed to be the reader of, intercept of passes and things like that. And that's what we're missing in that midfield. Listen, Gravenberch done wonders last season, but it was never going to be sustainable. Let's be honest here. He's not that type of midfielder. He's not aggressive.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And another thing that, like tonight, this is the first time I've heard it tonight, right? When they're talking about Liverpool's team, the gap between the midfield and the attack. The gap is so wide between the midfield and the attack. It's just so wide. You can't have a gap. You can't have gaps like that and expecting that you're going to win the game. You can't. It cannot be done. I don't know what kind of football that Arne Slot's playing at the day, right? I don't know what kind of football it is, but whatever it is, right, it's not for Liverpool. So I'm hoping that the day tomorrow, if the so-called supposed to having this meeting today in the morning, and that's what's having a meeting in the morning to discuss the future of Arne Slot. Basically, discuss the future of Arne Slot. Does he have a future or not? Yeah. Because apparently he's shitting himself now, Arne Slot, because he thinks he's going to lose his job. Yeah, right? I just hope they cut the cord tomorrow. And they
I
cut
hope
the
so.
cord tomorrow, and they go back to go to Arne slot with a tail wagging between the legs and say, "Look, we was wrong. Please come back and help us out." You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
he comes back in. You know what I mean? He comes back in the day, right? And like, because people are thinking in the day that so like he's gonna come in, yeah, and then like after the World Cup, yeah, Nagelsmann's are available,
mm,
and they'll probably go for Nagelsmann. They have probably have Klopp as an interim manager, and then they always to get us in good stead for a Nagelsmann or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? You know,
yeah. I agree. I think
what
that's
do you
what we need
what,
to do.
what do you guys think of Nagelsmann? What do you guys think of him?
He's a good coach. I don't. I will still have slight reservations just based on his history, where he's been at other clubs like Red Bull Leipzig. It didn't quite work out for him there. So I don't know. The one that I would want to go for, I don't know if it's really is Xavi Alonso because he ticks all the boxes for me,
Yeah, of course
and
he
that's
does. Of course he does.
that's the one I wanted before Slot, which you probably know as well. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's the
yeah,
one
yeah,
that I feel like was the one that he doesn't have one way of playing. He's shown at Bayer Leverkusen he can play with a back three and with wing backs. At Real Madrid, he's playing with a back four right now. So he's definitely a coach that is adaptable based on the players that he has in his squad, and that's a
yeah.
true coach there. This coach has one way of playing, or last season he used Klopp's blueprint, but this year he's like, oh, let me do my way, and he's completely made it 360, tried to do it his way, and it's gone all pear shaped now. So for
It's
me,
got Pete
that
Tom in
shows
it.
me, yeah. So that shows me that this coach is stubborn. He doesn't want to change his
Very
way,
stubborn.
and he just wants to do things that pleases him. Because we've won games, and he's complaining saying, "Oh, that's not the way I want the team to play," but we got
It's
the
not my
result.
principle, he says, isn't it? It's not my
Yeah,
principle, yeah.
like that. This is a result business. Like it doesn't really matter if it makes you happy or not. If you get the wins, that will give you the credibility. That will make your fans appreciate you even more, and it heightens your stock as a coach. But the thing is, like you
Mm.
mentioned, Fozzie, if you do have a philosophy, you can't just completely do it 360. You have to slowly
Mhm.
embed it in. When managers get sacked during the season and you get a new coaching, they don't
Mm.
just do it straight away. They do
Nope.
it based on what was working, make a few tweaks, and when it comes to the forthcoming seasons, that's when they start embedding their style of
Exactly,
play or
mate.
their profile of players that comes in and fits the way they want to
Mm.
play. He did too much too soon. And I'm not saying in terms of the signings, I think his philosophy, his tactics was too much too soon, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've got a comment up on the screen right now where I thought majority of us would be slot out, but clearly Bainesy says slot needs to go. Have you lost your mind? So he's clearly slotting. If you're still watching, I'd like you to explain why you're still slotting because I need explanation
See,
because
young fans,
maybe
innit?
I'm a
Young
bit
fans. I told you,
close-minded.
young fans. They don't know the club, man. They don't know the football club. They need to learn about their football
They
club.
probably don't like it.
Nah, I'm being serious. Like, learn about your football club, innit? Before you say, "Are you serious?" Like, learn about your football club. This is
We're
this
not
is a
making
football
Yeah,
up
club that's
stuff.
about winning. We're about winning. We're not here, to play second fiddle. You don't spend $500 million to be where you are behind
Yeah.
Everton, and you're saying it's okay. Are you mad? Like, have you lost the damn plot? Come on, wake up, man. This is not a mediocre team. This is a team that's the cream of the crop. We sit on a table with Real Madrid and AC Milan. Man United can't say
yeah,
that. Arsenal can't say that. Chelsea can't say that. Man City can't say that. We can. And that's what Bill Shagley has built this club for. Winning. If you're not part of the winning, you could go support, Everton, man. Go down there, man.
yeah. 'Cause
They're the
they
local
used to not
team.
winning.
Yeah.
They
Well
Yeah,
done
but
the history.
as for your question about the manager, listen, I
no,
don't mind. I don't mind Javi Alonso if he ever wants to leave Real Madrid, but I'm all about Jurgen, man, because you got to live with the times, guys. Like, I don't think people look into the times we're in. You know what I mean? We're in an era of sensitivity. You know what I mean? Players are sensitive. Coaches are, psychologists. That's what we need. That's how. I'm sorry to say that, but that's how this modern day football is. and people need to wake up to that. I think they're too much drawn into, flavor of the month kind of managers, but forgetting they need to be, good at the psychology side of the game. And this is what Jurgen Klopp brings to our football club. And that's what we're missing at the moment. Because if you've got a coach that can make you think you're better than what you are, and look how many players Jurgen put in the Ballon d'Or list down the years, guys. Think about it, man. That's all because he believed in them, and he made them believe they're better than what they were. And they've won every trophy because of him believing in them. And that's what we need, someone like that. If Xavi comes, I don't mind it either, but I won't cut Jurgen back because of the times we're in, guys. You know what I mean? There's this guy doing a message like this. Have you lost your mind? There you go. I mean, this guy needs a psychologist too.
You know something, yeah, right? I always think about the relationship that Klopp had with Alan Lallana. You know what I mean? There's such a bond. You know what I mean? That literally in the day, Jurgen Klopp changed his game, and it changed his game. And to me, at the day, he made him into a better player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Who would have thought Henderson would lift all those trophies? Who would have thought Ronaldo would be the player he was? Who would have thought Fabinho that failed at Real Madrid? Who would have thought all these players would be? Nobody even believed in Van Dijk.
Remember Robertson?
Yeah, Robertson came from the relegated Gulf.
Yeah.
Wijnaldum
was a winger.
Matip for free transfer. Wijnaldum, Wijnaldum came.
He was a winger at Newcastle.
Yeah, he was like a 10 when he was like a 10, innit? Sort of like
attacking winger. Yeah.
He played left mid as well.
Yeah. Remember when he was in Newcastle and they beat us, didn't they, that time, innit?
Yeah. He scored.
Yeah.
And we brought him right after. Yeah. Look at Bobby Firmino. Look at Mane. When Mane was coming through the door, Southampton player? Really? Nah. And look what happened with Mane. Same with Salah. Oh, the failure at Chelsea? Nah, man. Who rejected us? Nah. And now look at Salah.
Well, you know what?
This guy did all this, man.
But Mane did do a number on us the season before, didn't he?
That was the fastest hat-trick, man, in the Premier League history. He beat Robbie Fowler, innit? He beat Robbie Fowler against Arsenal.
Yeah, he twists us up. He twists us up that their game, because we were winning as well, weren't we? And they brought him on in a bit and he just twists us up, bro. I
remember him and that Italian Pele guy. Pele? Is it Pele or something?
Graziano Pele.
Great. That was a good partnership. That was.
Didn't he go back to Italy in the end?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
He did. Yeah.
Look at the players, guys. Like I said to you, man, all Ballon d'Or nominees, man, all because of Klopp. How many managers can say they did that for a lot of players? Not many, man. The goalkeeper, all the way to the strikers, from Alisson all the way to the strikers, all Ballon d'Or nominees, but every single year, man. That's what I'm saying. It's a psychological thing, man. This current football, unfortunately, it's not the hard man game anymore. It's more about arm around the shoulder kind of managers, and that's what you need. Look at Mourinho's, look at Pep Guardiola's, all these guys. They're all arm around the shoulder. And this is what they need, these players, unfortunately, guys. I know, it takes a lot, to understand that. It's not always about, the tactical side of football, but you still got to be a psychologist at the same time. And that's what the greatest managers that ever existed, like Fergie, Shankly, Paisley, they weren't talkers. They did action by, talking to the players and making them believe they're better than what they were.
Yeah. The thing about it is like when Klopp brought in players, he brought in players that had good integrity. They had to be a good human being, not just a good footballer. They had to be a good human being.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think what it was with Klopp at the day, Klopp was a good manager. You know what I mean?
That's what you need.
Because that guy Prince Boateng, the way he speaks about Klopp, that's just pure love there. You know what I mean? And what Klopp does, which is very significant, he makes you feel loved.
Yeah.
He makes you feel wanted.
You're spot on, uncles. I'll tell you why you're spot on, yeah. When Klopp was around Liverpool Football Club, you never heard players running down their contracts. You never heard players go to Real Madrid and Barcelona apart from Coutinho. You know what I mean? He You know what I loved about our head coach back then, or manager, sorry, back then? He used the Coutinho transfer to his advantage because he told those players, look at Coutinho, guys. Like, he was the best player here at the time. I told him we could build a statue for you. He chose to leave and go to a team that ruined his career. I don't want the same for you. You've got a place here where you could stay and build your legacy even further.
Yeah,
Since then, you never heard Van Dijk want to leave. You never heard that. You never heard Salah wants to leave. Mane left because the club had to let him go at the time. Alisson's still here. You know what I mean? Fabinho left because the club. He said it recently. The club let him go. Henderson the same. Nobody wanted to leave. It's because of
nobody
Klopp.
wants to leave.
What he did, the atmosphere he did at this club. You're telling
No,
me
nobody wants to.
when they were at their best, all these players, you're telling me Real Madrid wasn't looking at them? Come on, guys, we've got to
You
be
know what?
serious.
What?
They
You
were.
know what? You know it was for us. Nobody wanted to leave, and the only way that they can get them out was a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy pushed them out because there's a hierarchy. There's a
They want
hierarchy.
to give them the wages, didn't it? They wanted,
Yeah, they didn't want to give Mane their wages. They didn't want to give Genie Wijnaldum a contract extension,
Yep.
and all sorts. It was all sorts. You know what I mean? But if it was solely down to Klopp, they would have stayed.
But look at who stayed. Look at they stayed to in their 30s, all of them. You know what I mean? It shows the powers of that man and what he had. And not only that, what I loved about Jurgen, guys, even when Real Madrid and Barcelona, Bayern Munich were chasing him, he still wanted to stay at Liverpool. And that's the kind of person you need. Not a person who's going to use you as a stepping stone to get to those clubs. There you go, man. This is the loyalty we're missing. Since then, the club hasn't been the same. Listen, I love Arne Slot, what he did for us last season. But is there a relationship with him like we had with Klopp? Or, those great managers like Kenny and Bob and Schenk? No, there's no relationship like that with Arne Slot. That's why people... That's why people just want him to go. Don't care. I mean, because he doesn't give us that. He's too arrogant to give us that for some reason. He just comes in the pitch, little claps, and walks away, like little fast walking away. No, but you can go, man. You can walk faster now, man. Make sure the taxi's outside.
No, it's so true.
Klopp was Bill Shankly reincarnated. Seriously, I'm telling you, bro. He was like, Bill Shankly reincarnated. I'm telling you. It's sad the way the club's going at the moment, you know what I mean? I'm just watching my club. I'm literally watching my club and they just going downhill. It's just going downhill. You know what I mean?
And the fan base are like divided as well. Like our fan base are divided, man. And it's not right, man.
No.
It's just not right, bro. It's not right. But the only thing at the end of the day, sort of like, that can make it, baby, right? Is if Arne Slot goes and start restructuring it. Just get Klopp back in as an interim manager and everything that. And if you're looking at Alonso at the end of the season and stuff, right? To say that, right? Just like talk to Alonso and say, look, right, we're gonna come in for you, and then we're gonna come in for you as the new manager at the end of the season. You know what I mean? So make your job last as long as you can, obviously, with Real Madrid, but we're coming back for you. Because I don't think at the end of the day, sort of like Alonso will be there.
Nah. The thing with Alonso, the best thing he's done, in my opinion, is instead of making Liverpool first, he made Real Madrid first. You know what I mean? So next time, they won't be going back to Real Madrid. You know what I mean? It's going to be a longevity job at Liverpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's true.
And the thing is about it, he will have the links at the end of the day with Leverkusen and have the links with Real Madrid if he wants to get players, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We've already got two of his former players in Verts and Frimpong, so
there you go.
That's two players ready made for the way he wants to play the game. So I don't know. I hope we get some. Well, it sounds harsh, but I hope we get some good news tomorrow because
I can't believe we're saying that.
I know it's harsh to say out loud, but it's come to a stage where I'm like, that feels like good news to me because
it's hurting, bro. It's hurting, bro.
Yeah, it is. It's very dark times right now. So hopefully, we get some news in the coming days because I don't feel like there's any way back
Oh no! He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's definitely gone, bro. I've lost
No,
hope, man. There's nothing can bring Arne Slot back now.
no, no,
There's no way.
no,
There's no way.
no, no way. No way in shape or form.
You know,
Boys,
if,
It could
appreciate
be.
the time as always. Uh, guys,
if
please let the
one
people
last
know as well.
Ozzy,
Go,
one
go, go,
last thing,
go,
yeah.
yeah, go
One
for it.
last thing. You know, if we lost 2, right, when we was losing 2-1 at that Pacific time and day, we wasn't playing too bad. Yeah, at that Pacific time. Now, if we sort of like lost, if it that result carried on at the end, you know, we lost 2-1, but the fight was there.
Yeah,
I could probably say it and day, well, yeah, man, he deserves another chance because they were fighting to sort of like, to get ahead or to win the
yeah,
game or it's this and that. It's because I saw no fight at all, no fight at all, and you made your stupid sort of like substitutions like that. I thought, you know what? It definitely is enough, enough.
yeah,
Definitely is, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's very stubborn. He's very stubborn, isn't it, Ozzy? We discussed it earlier when Uncle Rod was in here, innit, Ozzy, about
yeah,
like what I said, Uncle. I don't know if I've ever told you the story, like about what I think Arne Slot is doing to himself, that is getting in the sack, innit? What I said to Ozzy was the reason he's not starting the likes of Gomez, Chiesa, and Endos and all that stuff. Because what you got to lose, you know what I mean? You're losing anyway. Maybe they will surprise you if you give them a chance to,
Yeah.
start in the game. Do you know what I mean, Uncle? So and you might get a win. So the thing he's doing right now is he doesn't want that burden in regards to people asking him why didn't you if they start and win. I'm talking about Unks, yeah. Why didn't
Yeah.
you start them earlier? Why do you have to wait this long? If you started them earlier, maybe the results could have been different. He doesn't want that, so this is why he's still playing these players, and he's very, very arrogant in that way as well. Because you're still playing, a midfielder as a right back. You're still playing a midfielder as a centre back. Why, when you got someone on the bench that can do both jobs? So yeah, he just doesn't want that, backlash
yeah,
from the reporters and Liverpool fans. Why did you play these players? Because listen, the fans always give you something. They gave Chiesa Player of the Month for a reason because they're telling you to start him, and you're still not starting. You know what I mean? The fans are
yeah,
walking off the stadium instead of booing you because they're very respectful fans. That's the difference. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, they did boom
So
towards the end.
yeah,
They did boom at
huh?
the end. They did boom at the end. At
Yeah,
Yeah.
tonight they did.
the end, he got
Yeah,
booed.
tonight they did.
Oh, they
Mm.
did. I didn't know.
Yes, he got
I
booed.
left
Yeah,
Yeah.
after I left, after the first goal. I came back a bit, but you know how it is. You know what I mean? I know when the first goal goes, then I'm done, innit?
Yeah, no, but at the end, he
yeah.
got booed.
You
At
got
the end, he
booed,
got
yeah.
booed.
Mm. So that's curtains right there. That's time to go now. So for me, there is no coming back from that. So let's see what happens tomorrow. But guys, big up for coming on. Please let the people
No
know as well
problem.
how to follow you in terms of your channels and any social handles as well. Let the people know.
Okay. Uncle Roz TV on YouTube. I've done a show tonight. Actually, I've done a show tonight. Just before I came on, and I had a group of guys on there, and we had a nice sort of chat. You know what I mean? Well, nice enough chat anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm on there. I got a show on Friday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 to 5, and it's going to be with Cal from Coppage and also
nice.
Dean from Fam Zone. Going to be on there as well, and we're just going to talk football. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, catch me on.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. If you talk about me, I'm gonna probably do something at 1:30 tomorrow. Yeah, guys, just to let you know, guys. So
Oh yeah, I'll tune into that there, bro. I
in the
will tune
afternoon,
into that.
innit? All right.
Cool.
Take care, good bro. Take care, guys.
Appreciate it,
Take
Fozzie.
care.
Speak to you soon.
Thanks, Ozzy. Thanks for having me on,
Thank
bro.
you.
See you
No
down,
worries, bro.
close.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
Fuzzy, Ozzy again. Thanks for having me on,
No problem, bro.
and I'll speak to you very soon.
Yeah,
You
we'll
know what I
speak
mean?
soon.
Yeah, take care. Love and respect, my bro.
You too. You too, bro. Take care. Appreciate it. Thank you. So that is Uncle Roz. Big up to Uncle Roz and Fozzie. Now, let's go through some of the comments before we close the show. So, let's see where we were at. Apologies not for reading the comments. I didn't want to disrupt the momentum of the show with Fozzie and Uncle Roz, so I'll read them out right now. So, um, Musa says to Wayne that Nagels is my number one, but he won't leave before the World Cup. Maybe Glasner. I would rather go for Klopp, as the guys alluded to as well, on an interim, and then we find the next person, whether that's Nagelsmann, Alonso, that type of caliber of manager. That's what I want from next summer onwards. So that's what I would look at going forward. Um, Bo says Klopp, Inzaghi, Stevie G, Italiano. Huh. Other ones for me. Still need to check on Italiano, but yeah, that's a name that I'm sure um you're a big fan of, so definitely have to check it out. I'm sure it might be a name that will be linked with us soon as well. Abdul says, why did FSG give Arsenal all that money? How did he win the league? Liverpool needs to sack him. I don't know. He got credit in the bank. He won the league title, so he was allowed to spend big. That's how it worked. But unfortunately, it's kind of backfired where he's done too much too soon in terms of tactics, and it's just not working out. Bonker said, I just want a defender doing a defender's job and a midfielder doing their job. That's it. Simple as that. This is something that I've been frustrated with is our fullbacks. Both of them are inverting. So they're coming more central and they're coming up as close to the striker. And then our two wingers are told to be out wide, but they don't play like wingers. Salah is not dynamic enough to beat a fullback, and Gakpo doesn't like doing that. He likes to cut inside and congest the central areas for our attackers and just mess it all up. So tactically, it doesn't work in terms of the profile players that we have. So the match that we won against Real Madrid, you notice our fullbacks were playing like fullbacks. Conor Bradley was man marking Vinicius Jr. He wasn't inverting, he wasn't making diagonal runs. He was being a proper defender, a right back. That's what it's simple stuff. We got to do simple tactics now. Don't need to over confuse or try and be innovative. Keep it simple, get the results, and then start, implementing your new style of play as time goes on. But for Slot, the time has run out, so that's not even an option anymore, in my opinion. Well, did you see the Curtis Jones interview? He was basically saying that before on the clock we pressed like crazy. Now we are shit. Wasn't that interview a big don on Slot? Big dig on Slot? I haven't seen it, but I saw a quote where he pretty much said we're in the shit, so something along those lines. So yeah, he's not wrong. And he's speaking from the heart. He's speaking like a fan, and that's what you want. You want one of your players to feel that. You want your players to represent us as well. So he definitely feels it in that manner. Abdul says, I'm confused by this head coach. Sack him. Yep, sack him indeed. Musa says, I'm a Brentford fan, and everyone keeps saying we could get Europe. I don't think so, but for Liverpool, in terms of quality, they can get at least Europa. Europa is not good enough for Liverpool, unfortunately. That is not acceptable. Musa says, another potential shout out for manager would be Xabi Alonso. Real Madrid players aren't all happy with him, and Liverpool did try to get him before. That would be my number one choice. Of course, I don't think it would be realistic to get him now, but this is why I want Klopp as an interim, because I don't think Klopp will come back thinking he's got a long term future at the club. I think he'll come back to help the club for the love of the club. He'll do that. So he'll come back to settle the ship and then pretty much, put us in a better position like he did before he left as well the first time round. So that's what we want. So we need him to rescue us. Unfortunately, that's what it feels like right now. Um, Ozan says, no, bro, we ain't even getting Europa. Yeah, we're not getting anything, to be fair. Charlie says, why did we have Jones at right back? The reason we had him at right back today was Ramsey wasn't registered to play. Otherwise, he would have been an option. Joe Gomez, despite him being named on the bench, I don't think he's fit to play. So that's ridiculous as well. If he's not fit, please don't have him on the bench, because then it makes us look silly as well. And when we need a player like him, we're not actually obliged to play him because we feel like we could, get him injured if he gets onto the pitch. So there was no choice. It was either Jones or Endo or Szoboszlai, and out of the three, I would have gone for Jones anyway. So I don't think Jones was a problem today. I think as a collective, we just were all over the place, to be fair. Boss says, do you actually think he'll get also that was to Fozzie? So Fozzie, I think he was inclined to say yes. I think the writing's on the wall now. I don't think there is no coming back after that. Charlie says people were saying that if we got East side, the league is over. Literally every content creator out there agreed on this. On paper, we looked indestructible. It's crazy how bad we've become. It's facts. I was definitely one of those content creators that thought, you know, we're going to be unbeatable. And rival fans felt that pressure as well. They're like, oh, shoot, Liverpool mean business this time round. I would never have envisioned the collapse, the way we've just demolished all our good work over the years. It's quite sad to see, but hopefully, we can bring someone on board to pick it back up and try and, you know, bring it back again, I guess. Ozzie last season, Slot drove Jurgen's old BMW M5. This year he was given a Ferrari and he don't know how to drive it. No, he doesn't know how to drive a supercar. He doesn't know how to manage top elite players. This is how I'm seeing it. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. Bonkers it's on the board for getting Slot. Uh, he won the league, but the performances this season are not good enough. I agree, they're not good enough. We can't go about the past too much. Go look about the current season. What has he done? And when you go through a bad patch, you try and find a solution. Whether it's your long term vision or if it's your die-hard philosophy, it doesn't really matter. You have to get results. For this type of club, you have to get results. We have to be towards the top of the table. We have to be in all competitions fighting for silverware. You can't just completely flip the script and do what you want to do. That's not how football works. So he's done too much too soon, in my opinion. Bowles says, "Will it be announced tomorrow?" I'm praying it will. That sounds very harsh. That I'm praying for someone to get sacked, but I'm, and it's not just a personal dig at him. I just feel like enough is enough, and we just need to go and move on from now on. That's the way I'm looking at it. Some will disagree, but that's how I feel. Well, because if Gomez can't play, why on the bench? He shouldn't be on the bench. If he can't play, if he's been having injections all week, he shouldn't be on the bench. Simple as that. Maybe he's just there to make up the numbers because I don't know if you guys checked the substitutes. They had about 2, 3 players more than us, so we don't even have a full squad due to the injuries we have. Um, so yeah, I feel for him as well. The Steve said, if any Slot fans are listening, state your reasons now. If you are, tune in, please do let me know. And I'm not here to take digs at you. I'm just intrigued to know why you're still supporting the coach despite what's been happening recently. So it's more me being intrigued rather than me, taking shots at you or anything of that nature. Um, Most of the worst things that I actually believe we would win today. I thought we'd get a draw. I think we'd get a point just based on bad form. And I thought a point would put us in a good position going forward, but no, I didn't have a feeling we'd win. Too much has gone on for me to suggest that. Bowles asks, who will be leading on the sideline against West Ham? The dream would be Jurgen Klopp. That would be the dream. Um, I want Xabi Alonso to be the long-term manager, but I don't think that'll be a possibility. That's pipeline dreams right there. Jurgen Klopp would be the one that I would like to see leading the team this week, or if not, next week. But what I'm trying to say, it has to be Klopp. Or if we can get an Alonso, that caliber of a manager, then get them on board. So that's how I look at it. To be fair, Carl Sidebar said Slot couldn't manage a sandwich. Yeah, couldn't muster anything right now. To be fair, did we still say Coutinho the panic injured as well? Yeah, so he's injured his back. So I don't know the severity of it. So we'll get an update, I'm sure, tomorrow or Friday, because normally press conferences are being held at Friday, but I don't want Arne to be leading that conference. So we'll see. Carl said players trying to get him sacked. It's obvious now. Well, if you're slam dunking a football on the pitch, then yeah, it could be the case. Which sounds wild, but you never know, I guess. Musa said, I think right now the players are just lacking the energy, the commitment, like compared to the Arsenal game. Defenders like Kanate and Van Dijk weren't running back. I think it's bigger than that. It's just not. Yes, you're right in terms of we do lack the energy, the commitment, but I feel like the players aren't on board with what the coach wants from them. So when you've lost the dressing room, it's very hard to apply yourself in that way because you don't have belief in what the coach is doing. And when that happens and you're losing and your confidence is deteriorating, the morale is getting low and low every time, week in, week out, we're not in a good place. So that's why things need to change. Because right now it's an atmosphere where everything's on edge, and that's not going to help us in this kind of period. Um, I'm also going to pull a Gerard and a Sky a Ben. Um, Both said the players are not playing for him, and rightly so. I agree. The says, I'm not lying when I say Uncle Roz would do better as centre back than Kanate Oz. I feel like anyone would do better at Kanate because the. To be fair, I'll give him this. He actually wasn't that bad today until that mistake. Um, Van Dijk was really bad today. Really, really bad. Football 101 says Liverpool is so bad. Um, and he says Arsenal is winning the Champions League. I think that's an Arsenal fan there. He's getting a bit too giddy. Um, I'm gonna not read everything that he's written there. I can see. Um, Bo's asking how many Champions League do you have, and he says zero. So yeah, he just, just yeah, just cuss yourself out there. There. Uh, let's see. Andre, big up Andre says hi guys. You know, welcome. Big up Andre. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for tuning in. David, big up David. He says many defenders have been leaned on during set pieces, but I haven't seen them intentionally handle the ball like Van Dijk. That was bizarre. I still don't know what on earth he was doing, honestly. Mosa says Xavi Alonso would be the dream, but I think right now he wants to stay at Madrid and win the league, even though he's having troubles with the players. That's why I said it'll be more of an appointment next summer rather than now. I don't expect him to come now. That's what I've said. I would like to see someone like Klopp come in to settle the ship, and then end of the season, we bring in Xabi Alonso, which should have been the master plan before, rather than us going through Slot. But I guess hindsight is a thing. Bo says, I pray to God that it isn't Nagelsmann or Iraola. Yeah, I would have reservations on both of those coaches. For me, Alonso is the dream one. Luis Enrique as well, to be fair. But I feel like Xabi Alonso for me just edges it slightly, maybe because I think both are unrealistic, to be fair, because they're both at big clubs right now. But if one was to come, it would be Xabi Alonso based on his current situation. And secondly, he ticks a lot of the boxes being a former player and knowing some of the players. He's worked with Florian Wirtz, he's worked with Jeremy Frimpong. So there's already players that he knows what they can bring to the table, and he knows how to get the best out of them as well. So because of that, I feel like Xabi Alonso is, for me, the number one target. But of course, that's not attainable at this stage of the season. So therefore, you go with a different plan. You go with an interim coach. So for me, it would be Jurgen Klopp. If it's not Jurgen Klopp, I would actually go for Steven Gerrard. I feel like he'll bring that good film factor back to the club, and then we just take it from there. And then end of the season, um, we'll get the coach that we want us to take the club forward. So that's how that would be my way of looking at it. But yeah, let's see. We've got to get that announcement about slot first before we think too far ahead. Most of maybe not Irola, but I rate Nagelsmann. Now, I do like Nagelsmann. I wouldn't feel super confident that he'll come in and uh, you know hit the ground running straight away as a coach. Um, but what I do know is that he'll get the best out of Wirtz, because Wirtz seems to be a different player for the national team. So that would be a plus point. And there will be a lot of players that he'll be aware of anyway from the Bundesliga, like Frimpong and those type of players. So yeah, he's definitely in the top 5 options in my opinion. Uh, also says he wants Xabi Alonso. Yeah, that's my pick there as well. Exposure TV, big up says Klopp wants his job back. Yeah, you can have it back for the rest of the season, because I don't see Klopp wanting to do it longer than that. I think if we present the idea that, look, we want you to just come in, settle the ship a little bit, and then you can decide what you want to do at the end of the season. I feel like that will fit well, rather than saying, look, we need you back 2-3 years. I, I don't think that's what he would want. So for the love of the club, I think he will come back and do that. So let's see. Most said Liverpool Football Club is not just about a good football coach, but a special person with a connection to the players. and fans in City, and Klopp has all that he does. But that's why I feel like, for him to come back, it's a short-term fix because of his position where, he wants to retire. That's his thing. So you have to find an alternative, and I feel like Alonso would tick that box or boxes because he knows the city, he knows the fans, he knows what the club is about. So he would be the one for me. Also said either bring Klopp back on interim or Xabi Alonso because Alonso's a former player and I understand what it means to be a Liverpool player. Slot doesn't have that. Yeah, that's true. Frank, pick up yourself with the comment. Ball says Inzaghi would be a crazy sideline antics though. Yeah, to be fair, I just need my team to go back to winning ways. Dexter says this is crazy. I wasn't saying must happen in the next 48 hours. I agree. Not really. So apologies, Bo. I didn't want to load up comments as the guys were speaking, but yeah, I'm trying to make up for lost time. Um, Bo, will you be doing a show early tomorrow if he gets sacked in the morning? If he gets sacked in the morning, I will try my best. I have to see what work is like, but if I can, I will try. I will try and get everyone's reaction as well. Um, but I do have a show scheduled for tomorrow, so I plan on doing a match preview of the West Ham versus Liverpool game. So if I can't do it during the day, um, and we get that breaking news, we can talk about it in detail in the match preview. So yeah, so look out for that tomorrow evening. Boston, what 4-1 against PSV is honestly shocking. It's still not landed in my mind. I can't believe we've lost 4-1 to PSV. Will Klopp actually come back though? Hopefully so. I'm only going based off that interview he did on the podcast that he would consider it. That is the only thing I'm holding on to. If that podcast did not happen, then I would probably say no. I think he would just not want to be in a managerial position at all. That's how I would look at it. But because of that podcast, I'm thinking there's a bit of hope. Bo said, do you remember when Klopp used Gomez as a centre back, left back, right back, and even as a centre mid? Never. Now Slot never even uses him at all. Yeah. Bo said, you see that Virgil was walking back on the 4-1 goal. But Virgil's demeanor today was different, man. I don't really know how to pinpoint it. But yeah, he's been a bit off. And for me, when your captain is behaving like that and I feel like he's lost complete faith in the coach, but he can't publicly say it out loud. And I'm sure he's had meetings with the players to try and fix this, but it looks like it's bigger than just riling up the players. It's a combination of so many different factors, tactics, um, you know, players not feeling valued when they're fully fit and not getting any game time and stuff like that. So yeah, the club needs to make that decision. I generally hope there is an emergency meeting today and a decision is made because that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. 12 games and 9 defeats. Come on. I don't know how people can defend that. I really can't, honestly. Boss or fine Ozzy. Appreciate that, Bo. Ozzy said the players don't trust Slot or any of his staff, Ozzy. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Ozan. You can see in the way they play. Yeah, that's why I feel like it doesn't matter who comes onto the pitch. Like they just play in such a flat way. It's like they don't really care. Like Chiesa, I noticed this today. There was a couple of times where Chiesa made fouls, and he'd look back at the coaching area, and I feel like that's just like him looking like, look, I'm playing in an angry manner because of you, because you've been mistreating me. That's what it came across to me. Because when your coach is not, giving you game time when you're fully fit, and let's be honest, he has been really positive whenever he's come on this season. it just shows that you know there's an issue, and it's just bigger because even when like the players are giving high fives to each other with the coach, they don't really want to do it. And today he was booed at the final whistle, which has never happened before either. So writing's on the wall. That's how I'm gonna say how it is. So hopefully we get some sort of decision about it. Both said this was Virgil's Gerard moment at Blackburn. Yeah, so Fozzie mentioned that. And funny enough, I saw that clip earlier on today. I think it was after the game, so obviously people are just throwing memes around and stuff like that. Um, yeah, it feels like it, to be fair. Uh, it's the EB. So he says difference between Slot and Hodgson is that Slot won a league title and Hodgson was sacked 6 games into his job. So first month was almost perfect. So it needs to go now though. No, I hear you. I hear you. It's just that the reason why I put that graphic up is because there's a lot of people still defending Slot and they're using his first season as the reason why we shouldn't get rid of him. But I know the context is a little bit different because that was the first 6 months of Hodgson. Um, but I kind of feel like you kind of got to forget what happened last season because the reason we're all feeling this way is because of this season's performances. Things that really stood out for Arne last year, in-game management skills, in terms of tweaking tactics and playing a certain brand of football, being very defensively sound. Um, he's not brought those strengths this season. Like he's gone completely against the grain, and it's really bizarre in terms of how he's doing it. So the reason why I presented this graphic is just because I'm treating it as this is Slot's first few months in terms of like implementing his way of playing. Because last season he inherited uh Klopp's team, and he pretty much used the blueprint to continue that way of playing. And then this season completely did a 360 and said, "Look, we're not playing that way anymore. Rip that blueprint. We're playing my way." And his way is just not working. So that's how it is. So yeah. But look, if you were around, if you were a Liverpool fan, because I'm not sure how old you are, but until if you were a fan around that Hodgson time, like that felt like real dark times. Like when I think of bad times Liverpool, the Hodgson era comes to my mind. But unfortunately, this is going to, it's going to rival it in some shape or form because 12 games, 9 defeats, that's not acceptable. Doesn't matter who you are, that is not acceptable at Liverpool. But also, just imagine Chiesa if Klopp came back now. Oh, honestly, because I've seen fans that are a little bit uncertain about Klopp returning. And I don't know if they were if it was because they were Klopp out before. I don't know, but there's suggestions that maybe uh, I think in terms of the current crop of players, maybe they feel like they wouldn't suit the way Klopp would want his team to play, i.e., eye on the press, playing with real intensity and urgency. I would have to disagree. I think they would. And I think all of the players we have in our squad would fit really well under Klopp's tutelage because these are high quality players. He's not had an Isak type of striker, during his time. Um, for inverts, he's already spoken about him. Like, this is a generational talent. You wait and see how he performs once he gets to the grips of the pace and the speed and the physicality of the Premier League. And all the players that we have, that he's like supposed like he was the one that brought him in. Gakpo, he was the one. Salah, all of these players, McAllister, Gravenberg. So he knows he will not, and even the new signs, Frimpong and Kirk. On paper, I think they're probably best suited for the wing back role. But I feel like Klopp will find a way to play, and I feel like one of his sole responsibilities will be to have a player like Gravenberg to be the number 6 to play that role and to cover, you know, the back line, to protect the back line, but also when the fullbacks go forward, the number 6 is his responsibility to be defensively aware and clear up shop whenever called upon. So um like players like Chiesa, you can really tell he's a very aggressive, very there's a passionate way of playing, like he really goes for it, presses hard, plays for the badge. That's a Klopp type of player. And even when Chiesa was, making his name all those years ago, I used to always thought, he would be amazing at Liverpool. Pipeline dream at that time, but he would be fantastic in the Klopp team. And shout out to Double D. He was someone that said that years ago, um, that Chiesa would be the perfect Klopp player as well. So yeah, I think Chiesa would really flourish under Klopp's tutelage. So let's see what happens. Whilst the client was smiling again, I was like, yeah, I saw that. Pissed me off. It really did, if I'm being honest with you. Wasn't smirking as much, but he still was smirking. And then Slot tried to hug him and say, look, I think he tried to just give him some assurance that, look, it's not about you. I'm trying to do some tactics here, blah, blah, blah. Don't really care. He's not performing. So for me, it doesn't really need an explanation. Has Slot ever blamed himself? Recently, he kind of has, saying, he has to look at himself. But generally, no. It's always blame on the opposition that they're playing negativity, they're playing long balls and low blocks. We don't have a solution. So you've already just revealed your cards to the whole world. Um, Sometimes he's like slyly put players under the bus and not really, supported them. Whereas as a manager, you're supposed to take all that pressure on and not let your players feel that pressure. And that's an example of, prime management skills there. But no, he doesn't have that in my opinion. But also very silent into this season. Do you know what? Jamie Carragher made that comment about, Salah not doing interviews, but last year he was everywhere because he wanted to get a new contract. And I have to admit, I kind of agree with that point. Salah's not doing interviews anymore, but I feel like being one of the senior players, he does have a responsibility to speak to the media because as fans that's what we watch. That's the link between us and the players. So he needs to speak um and let us know where the players are in terms of their state of mind, because right now there is no connection. We're not seeing it, we're not feeling it from the manager, and we're not really feeling it from the players either. All we see is Van Dijk coming in and he looks depressed the more he does interviews. So yeah, crazy. Honestly, it's real dark right now, Ozzy, though. It is very dark. That's why I feel like we got to make a change soon. I don't want us to fall behind. It's taken us a number of years for Klopp to build the club the way it is right now, and all that hard work, it can't just go to pear shape. We have to make decisions from a footballing point of view, but also business. If you want to think business, FSG, this is a business decision as well. You have to change the manager. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, your prize asset in terms of Liverpool Football Club won't hold the same value that it had previously. So, in any angle you look at it, football, business, change needs to be made. That's how I'm looking at it. Uh, MC said it is a very interesting stat you've presented. I'm a Liverpool fan. Yes, been supporting since the 90s. Big up yourself. So yeah, you've gone through the Hodgson era. So yeah, you know the pain that we went through as Liverpool fans. But also imagine Anfield when Klopp walks out the tunnel at the first time back. That would be insane. Um, if that was to be this weekend, I need to make a few phone calls and try and get a ticket at West Ham. Yeah, that'd be crazy if that was the first game that he manages. But let's see how it goes. Um, also, do you think that the players, the managers, sometimes look at social media and just laugh on us fans? Um, I don't think they'll laugh at us in that regards. I do think, especially with the younger generation, they might go, through it, and then unfortunately, if they've not had a great game, they'll know about it, or if people making fun of them, they'll know about that as well. Um, Managers probably less. They'll probably get informed about stuff like that. But I'll be honest with you, if I was a player, I wouldn't be on social media. I don't think that's the right way to go. You don't want outside noise to affect you when you're a player. Because they are human beings, they can be sensitive to criticism, and especially when us fans won't know the full picture. It can be taken the wrong way. So I hope they don't, because I don't think it benefits them to be on social media. It's a good way to connect, with your fans, but you can always have agencies or other, social media teams to do that work for you. Um, so yeah, I think some would, but not to laugh, probably just to see, what the fans are saying about them. I think that's what they would use it as, to be fair, as feedback more than anything else. Honestly, Ozzy, what if for some strange reason FSG doesn't sack Slot? Ozan, you can't rule it out because this is FSG. Um, but I would be horrified if that is the case, because I can't see a way back for this coach. I really can't. And he's not going to resign. So it's not going to come across like that. Managers don't tend to resign nowadays anyway. So something needs to be done, and it has to be done soon. That's how I'm looking at it. Ozan's comment following says, and keeps him until the end of the season. Will he really relegate us, you think? I'll say no, he won't relegate us, but it could be we're in the second half of the table. But that'll be on the basis that we actually sign some players in January. If it's the same squad, then no. We won't get relegated, though, but we'll be kind of like the season that United had last year. And I don't want to be in that frame at all. Bo says, I actually have a big fear that they won't sack him. I hate you, Bo. Um, I hate you. I just feel like it's so far gone now. They have to do it, but not everything's a certain, right? So you never know. But also, do you think Scott knows that the fans want him gone? I think if he didn't know before, he would have known today, because he got booed at the end of the game. So for me, um, he would know. He would if he doesn't. If he's been living under a rock, he'll know now. To be fair, Lucy says club statement. Oh, he's saying it's a troll account. Come on now. I was about to go on Twitter and figure out what's going on. Well, yeah, all good, all good. But yes, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I didn't see the point of doing a player ratings, to be fair, so we'll leave it at that today. Uh, big shout out to everyone for sticking around. Like in the UK, it's half two, so yeah. Don't normally do streams this late. Um, but at the same time, I don't think I'll be, sleeping, you know, easily with all this going on. I feel like I'll be lying in bed just replaying what happened today. So rather, speak to you guys, use this as a therapy session, I guess, or just to lay it all out, um, and just talk football, because yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, and hopefully we get some updates later this week. So shout out to Ozan, shout out to Wayne, shout out to Fozzie, and shout out to Fozzie for coming on the show as well. Shout out to Bo, shout out to Bonkers, shout out to Musa, shout out to Abdul Rahim, shout out to Bainsy, shout out to who else do we have? Shout out to Charlie, shout out to Deluded Steve, shout out to Carl, shout out to Football 101. Shout out to who else do we have? Shout out to Andre, shout out to David, Shout out to Exposure TV. Shout out to Frank Parker. Shout out to Dexter. And shout out to NCE as well. Appreciate your engagement as always, guys. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. As I mentioned earlier in the show, I will be doing a match preview of West Ham versus Liverpool. But at the same time, I'm thinking if we do get breaking news tomorrow, I might just skip that show and push that for Friday, and then tomorrow we'll do a show about the breaking news, I guess. So there will be a show tomorrow, that's for sure. So best thing to do is hit that notification bell, so you know exactly what time I go live. And yeah, we'll expect to do a show tomorrow. Expect to shoot a show on Friday as well, hopefully. And then on Sunday we'll watch the game. We'll do the watch along for the West Ham one, and we'll do the match reaction show as well. So yeah, let's see what happens for our beloved Reds in the coming days. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.